Good evening, everyone. How is everyone today? Oh, sorry, too fast. Yeah, how is everyone today? Busy watching the World Cup? Yeah. Today we are going to talk about, this topic on, hang on, just give me a second. Yeah, today we're going to talk about this topic on this building mental strength. And why building mental strength is important in Buddhism is because mind is the forerunner of everything. And if our mental strength is strong and healthy, meaning that we have the ability to conquer whatever situations that happens in our life. And that's the reason why I thought of picking this topic, building mental strength, as our discussion today. And before we proceed, right, I thought just want to have a feedback from everyone. After hearing the relationships last week about relationships, right? So are you more aware if you're independent or codependent, or you are independent? Did you put that applications in daily life to check upon yourself? That's good. That's good. Yeah, I see someone some nodding their heads. So that's very, very good. So, just listening to the Dharma is not enough. Apart from listening to Dharma, must try to apply what you have learned into your daily life, to think about it, to work on it. And that's how Dharma can become part of you. So let's continue with our building mental strength. Today, how we go to structure this building mental strengths discussion will be, first I will talk about some reflection skills that will be important in as a foundation of how we can build mental strengths. And secondly, I will talk about some mental factors, wholesome and unwholesome mental factors that we need to be aware of. And the third part of the discussion will be about the applications from the reflection skills and the mental factors that we go to cover, and how we can apply in our life so that we can build our mental strengths. So about reflections, reflection is a very common term in life. I think it's a very common term. What do you understand about reflections in terms relates to Buddhism? In relations to Buddhism, reflections in relations to Buddhism, and why is this skill applicable in Buddhist practice? If you want, you can put on the chat. No one? Okay, never mind. As we go along, you will understand better why I like to highlight the importance of reflections. So you can see from the picture that I pick, reflection is about looking back into yourself. Looking back into yourself is like a mirror, like reflecting what is going on within us. And that is what I meant by Buddhist reflections. Before we talk about reflections, I need to give you some definition first. Otherwise, our discussion will be, so that our discussion can be on the same page. So when we talk about mental health, because today's our topic is about mental strength, in order to talk about the strength, we need to talk about mental health. So to see that whether your mental is healthy or unhealthy. So what is this thing called mental health? Mental health, loosely speaking, we are thinking about mental health, we will normally relate to mental illnesses depressions, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, all kind of mental illnesses. But actually, when we talk about mental health, it actually just talk about, what is my overall emotions? What is my overall psychological functioning? And what is my overall social well-being at this point in time? So it actually affects like how we think, how we feel, and how we act. That is what we meant by mental health. So from here, you can know that, mental health is not just about our thinking. It's not just our psychological or like, neuro where people already have mental health issue. Mental health actually is just about our daily life. How is your emotions regulations? How is your thinking? How is your social well-being? As in like, are you most of the time alone, doesn't want to socialize? Or are you a person that can actually be with anyone and in any situations? A person who has good mental health, they are actually very, very flexible and they can be with anyone, anytime, anywhere. Yeah, this is what I meant by a good mental health. So with these definitions, let's work on the few exercise coming out. First, reflections. How do you fare this week? Most of the time, we don't think. We just function day after day, day after day, day after day. So now we take a step back to reflect upon how do I fare this week, Monday to Friday, or from last Friday that I spoke to you until today. How do you fare? I don't want to talk about emotions, so like I use weather as expressions of your emotional state, your mental health states. You may want to put on the chat, like after, give you 2 minutes to reflect upon your week. How do you fare this week? This is Dharma, okay? Not pre-play. So if you want, you can participate and at least you know that yes, very good. So you have some reflections here. Yeah. So in what did you right and wrong, how to prevent wrongdoing next time. Mostly sunny days, raining day, thunderstorm. Sometimes hectoring, sometimes sunshine. That's normal. We have good and bad days, sunny, rainy, fair, windy, fair, and some are quite challenging. Yes. So at this point in time, or rather say this week, how do you fare in your mental health? At least you have a gauge, 1 to 10, or use weather to know how am I doing now. And I hope you can apply this in your daily life on a weekly basis. You can look back. How am I this week? How am I doing this week? How am I doing this week? Yeah, this is one kind of exercise that you all can practice to self-regulate what is going on. And apart from this week, now we trace back because closing to the year end. How about this month? How about this quarter? And how about this year? What kind of watercolor you have add on to your mental health? Do you add a lot of black or gray? Or do you add a lot of more cheerful color like yellow, pink, blue, green? What do you add on to your mental health? Yeah. And I mean, this is very private. I don't expect you all to like share with me how have you fared in terms of mental health in this year or in this month or in this quarter? I'm sure it consists of ups and downs. There will be times where there are good period, and there are times there may be challenging period. And that's normal and that's okay. This is part and parcel of life. Yeah. But important thing is we know what is going on. We know what is going on. Yes. So why we do the exercise earlier on about these reflections? I illustrate using these slides. As you can see, for most people, we are the one on the extreme left. That means we are our thinking, we are our emotion, as in, let's say if I'm angry with this person. Why he make me so angry? You know, why we always bring about situations, we bring about people. And that is where what I meant that we are in ourselves, the first picture. Just now, our exercise that we did, I asked you, how is your week? How has been your month? How has been your year? We are in the middle of this slide, in this picture, meaning that we temporarily actually detach ourselves from our thinking and look back into ourselves. What is going on in this person? What is going on in this person? And as you practice these skills, reflection skill, more and more, congratulations, meaning that your mindfulness have picked up, meaning your awareness has picked up, and your mental strength have improved. And gradually you move to the third picture, the third drawing of this picture towards the right hand side. You are quite detached from we are quite detached from yourself, as in like you can be in yourself, as in you think and think and think and think, but sometimes you can actually be detached from your thinking. Wait a minute, what am I thinking? Wait a minute, why am I so angry? Wait a minute, what is my emotion right now? Wait a minute, what is my behavior right now? And this is the starting point of building our mental strength, which is the topic of what we're trying to discuss today. And by doing the simple reflections that we did just now, is actually a simple but effective method that we can apply in daily life to build on our mental strength. By being mindful of, hey, wait. Most of the time we are not mindful. We are in our thinking, so it's not mindful. But then if we were to practice what we do just now, detach a bit, look at my mind, look at myself. What is going on? What is my week? We are actually slowly to detach ourselves from a very, very involved I, the very involved persons. And we become to have gained a little bit of independence. And once we gain independence, this is where we can start to train our mind for further development in our Buddhist teachings. Yeah, okay? Yes. So why we need to detach, reflect, and look into what is going on. Let's say our behavior. I think a lot of people, we have this monkey mind, isn't it? Many negative thinking, positive thinking, uncontrollable thinking. We think about something, we think about World Cup, think and think who is going to win, who is what's the match tonight, stuff like that. A lot of thinking going on in our monkey mind. And according to my teacher, if a person's that mind is not trained, if our mind are not trained, most of the time we only can see what we see, which is the surface of the iceberg. We know that we have a lot of negative thinking. We some people tell me, I cannot control my anger. That is only the manifestations, what you see from your behavior. But then underlying your behavior, there's tons of things actually ongoing that we are not aware. Such as, let's say, a person who have some negative self-talk, like, I cannot make it. I'm not good enough. I cannot make it. And what would be the underlying of this thinking that the person keep thinking that they cannot make it? Perhaps the persons have fear of failure. 输不起. In Chinese, we call it 输不起. Maybe the persons have a lot of worries. Like, what if I fail? I might affect my group mate. I might this, I might that. I might ended up not having the contract. So if we could reflect using just now the skills that we learned earlier on, just now was a gross one, reflect on the week. But if we were to refine, once you start to train your mind to gain the mental strength of these reflection skills, gradually you can actually go deeper and more refined. As in, it's not just the gross, what is going on outside, very gross. We can start to refine. Okay, wait, I have this negative self-talk all the time. My monkey mind is always negative self-talk. What is going on? Why I have this negative self-talk? Without the reflections, it is not possible for us to know what we don't see under the iceberg, which in the Buddhist term, we call it our subconscious mind. We know the conscious mind, we know our conscious behavior, but what is the unconscious? What is behind us? Those are very important if you want to build your mental strength. Because in order to treat yourself, we have to go to the root cause of the issue. We cannot just cannot just see that, I got negative self-talk. I want to control. I want to stop the negative self-talk. Then someone may try to suppress. Someone, they might just use mantra, chant so that they don't think. But then, it can be helpful. But if you want to go to the root cause, to clear it once and for all, we need to detach, look back, reflect, and think deeper. And look deeper, not just think, we look deeper. Okay, I have this. I have anger. What is the cause of my anger? Was it because I have a bad head? I have a bad day in the office today? And you're bringing your anger from your frustration at work back to your home and throw your tantrum to your family members. So we need to check, we need to always check. Once we gain this mental strength of checking ourselves all the time, we will be a better person in terms of when we are relating with other people. And that's why this reflection, building of mental strength is important. And after talking about, the reflection skill and why we need to do the reflections, then we have to think another step. What are the mental factors so I know how to reflect, but I don't know what is good, what is bad. I know I have some thinking going on, but I don't know if this thinking is a good thinking or is this thinking is a unhealthy thinking. I don't know. If we have good thinking all the time, in the Buddhism, we call it wholesome mental states. A wholesome mental state is a state of the mind where your mind have a lot of strength. Your mind is positive. And you most likely can handle the life situations better. If our mind most of the time is an unwholesome state, it's a lot of negativity. And once we have negativity, what will happen? Meaning that we will, through our negativity, our behavior will express our negativity. And that will affect our surrounding, the people, like even hurting our people that we love so much. Not because of them, but because I myself have a lot of negative, unwholesome mental factors that is ongoing. I am not aware and I don't know. So in order to train our mental strength, first reflect. Then after reflections, you have thinking. Then now we talk about what is your thinking all about? Is it positive or is it negative? And according to the Abhidhamma, for people who are not familiar what is Abhidhamma, basically Buddha teachings are subclassified into 3 baskets. We call it 3 baskets. The first basket is the Vinaya rule, which is the ethics. For you as a lay person, you can take 5 precepts. Sometimes you go for retreat, you take 8 precepts. And for monks, for a bhikkhu, they got 227 precepts. And that's the Vinaya, the first basket of the Buddhist teaching. The second basket, we call it the Sutta. The sutta consists of like Dhammapada, long discourse of the Buddha, short discourse of the Buddha, Samyutta Nikaya, stuff like that, Jakarta Tales. It's the teachings that the Buddha has spoke, thus have I heard. All the teachings are in that basket. And the third basket is the basket we call Abhidhamma. And Abhidhamma is a more deeper teachings of the Buddhist of the Buddha, where he talk more on about our mind and our mental states and consciousness. So I actually extract from that part of the teaching and illustrate on these slides. All these factors are beautiful mental factors. Meaning that if their mind, most of the time, is in these qualities, have this quality. Just now you reflect, right? You know already, right? You pause, you check. Wait, what kind of mind I have now? Then you can subclassify again. Do I have faith? Faith, over here, we are talking about faith to the triple gems. Do I have faith in cause and effect? Do I have faith in karma? Do I have faith in, Noble Eightfold Path? Do I have faith in Four Noble Truths, all the teachings of the Buddha? Do I have faith in that? If you have faith and you contemplate on it, you are having a beautiful mental factors. The second one is mindfulness. Mindfulness, one of my teacher, Pao Xiado, he always emphasized mindfulness is like salt in all the cooking. Mindfulness is like salt in cooking. Every dish, you cannot go without a salt. So if you want to practice the Buddha Dhamma, you cannot go without mindfulness. This is so important. So please, today we're not talking about mindfulness, but please, I hope as part of your Dharma practice, please try to learn mindfulness, be it circular mindfulness or the 4 foundation of mindfulness, and please apply it into your daily life because it is so important. It is like salt. You cannot live without it. You cannot live without it. The third is shame. Shame over here is like, if you do something wrong, you feel shameful. Let's say that, for some reason, I need to tell a white lie, even though it's for good reason. But then I feel shameful that I know, okay, it's not that wholesome. It's not that wholesome mental state. I know. Yeah, I know. And I feel like I need to seek confession because I know that I did something wrong. Fourth, fear of wrong. Meaning, like, before we do anything, in life, we always have choice. Before we make any decisions, we have a choice. Good, bad, right, wrong, what you want to do. So, like, if you have fear of wrong, most of the time when you make a decision, because you have fear of doing wrong, you would chances are you will make the decisions that you know that is according to the teachings that you won't do wrong. Like, let's say, in the bus stops, you see an uncle selling tissue paper. So at that time in time, sometimes it's like, yeah, should I give $2 to buy 3 packets of tissues? If I have the stingy mind, then it's like, no lah, I save my $2 to buy a packet of noodle. I save my $2 to buy pao cha. That means you do not have fear of wrong. You know that, not being generous is not so well, it's not that wrong, but it's still, according to Buddha teaching, you can be better by practicing generosity. And if you fear wrong, most of the chances are, you'll pick up that you will pull out that $2 from your pocket and give to the tissue paper uncle, rather than keep that $2 and eventually buy a cup of bubble tea, and it will affect your health because bubble tea has so much sugar. Yeah. No greed. I'm sure most of y'all would know. No greed as in like, we have desire. It's okay, Greed over here, greed is a quality of the mind that, how to say, non-greed. Greed is like you want something so badly, you want to hold on to it. Non-greed is like 有就有，没有就没有。If my karma have it, it's okay. I enjoy it. That's because it's the effect of the good karma that I do in the past. But then if I don't have it, no need to go and keep on forcing to want to try to find it, and that is part of greed. And if you are aware, then my chances, please, pull back a little bit. Then when we talk about the number 6, the non-hatred, hatred is not about just you see cockroaches, you hate the cockroaches, piak. We are also not talking about not just only about you see something that you don't like, or you don't like this person and start scolding that person, or you badmouth the person in front of another person. That is a manifestation of anger. When Buddha talked about the beautiful mind state of non-hatred, when we talk about hatred here, we can be so fine to the extent of, let's say, sometimes we have this feeling a bit of buay song. A bit of buay song, be it the environment or be it the people. And that itself has the quality of hatred in a very subtle way. And that's what we meant by hatred here. Neutrality of the mind. Neutrality is, in Chinese, we call it 平常心. 平常心. Like, you're not too extremely happy, you're not so extremely excited, nor you are extremely disappointed or extremely down. No, you're just normal. Like perhaps I would describe it like a normal sunshine day, not cloudy, and it's not like this afternoon, like what, almost like to me it feels like 36 degrees. It's not the extreme, but it's quite normal. It's quite normal. Tranquility is a very important state of mind. Tranquility is like for like the fourth jhana, a person who already attained the fourth jhana, the mind is only in the state of tranquility. That means the mind is so calm, as if like there's no ripple on the lake surface. And that is what I meant by tranquility. It's a very, very wholesome state of mind. And you need time to cultivate in order to maintain this tranquility mind state. Lightness. How do you understand by lightness? Is your mind heavy all the time where there's so many things going on? Or is your mind light, as in like, I'm okay, I'm just with the environment, with the people that I am now, and I'm not carry on a big burden of worries. I don't carry a big burden of what have happened in the past. That's what I meant by lightness here. The mind is light. Yeah, do not have a lot of things crowding our mind and make it very, very messy. Yeah. Mobility is, that means it's flexible. Loosely translate, it is flexible. As in, the mind is, it can be shaped easily. It can be shaped easily. This is very important if you are trying to, learn from a teacher. A person who the mind is, person where the mind is is flexible. Teachers would like students to have a mind that is flexible. Why? When they ask them to do something, they don't stick to their own way of habits, but they can easily accept and change. If you have this quality, all your teachers will love you because it's very easy to teach and they can easily see your progress. Then the next one, the number 11, are you all feeling bored with all these terms? Okay, number 11 is about workable. Your mind is very workable. Not so rigid and tight, very easily workable, flexible and workable. A, you want your mind to do A, can do A. You want your mind to do B, can do B. If a mind is not workable, you know that you need to listen to a Dharma talk. But your desire will want you to go to the WhatsApp and check on your messages. That means your mind is not workable. They don't listen to you, but you are being controlled by your mind, by your desire. That's not a workable mind. Yeah, okay. Then the next one is proficiency. When we talk about proficiency here, we are referring to a mind that is very skillful. That means you have a lot of skills in terms of knowledge and experience. Take for example, a proficiency mind in the Dharma term will be somebody who have know quite a bit of Dharma, have read a lot of Dharma, attend a Dharma course, who know the Dharma. Not just that, he has the experience, as in perhaps the person may have went for meditation practice. They already start to see their mind. They start to see their mind. If the mind is most of the time in this wholesome state of mind or unwholesome state of mind. Once you start to know yourself, that means you have the proficiency of your mind. You start to gain proficiency in the Dharma way. Then the last one is that means a morality, correct behavior or thinking, which means like righteousness. The last one is righteousness. So like 正义, like, you keep a precepts. All these are wholesome mind state. All these are wholesome mind states. Then occasional meaning that, universal meaning that if your mind is in the positive mind states, right? The universal mental factors, most of the time, are there. When you talk about occasional, meaning that even your wholesome mind state, your mind is positive, the occasional may or may not be there. You might need to put in a little bit of effort to make the occasional wholesome mind states also there. So what are the occasional wholesome mind states? Right speech. Right speech, everybody will know. No lying, no bad mouth, don't say, what else? What other right speech you can think of? Bad mouth, don't lie, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you all know, right? Okay, I see someone putting in the chat. No figure speech, no division speech, hard speech. Yes, all these are right speech. And what is the right actions? Wholesome mind state, right actions. If you see that somebody need help, we help. That's right actions. If we see that our mind most of the time is not in the wholesome mind state, I make actions as in like I change my mind. I put in effort to apply mind training so that my mind can be into a positive mind state. That's right actions. Right livelihood. Livelihood, I'm sure everybody know, is about, in the gross way, is about, no killing, an occupation that's no killing, no stealing, no lying, stuff like that. The right livelihood. And compassions. Surprisingly, compassions are here, and I don't see like loving kindness here, but compassion is here. Compassions, loosely translate, compassion is like, a state of mind where you see people suffer and you hope that they can free themselves from the suffering. If you have that mind state, this is what we call a compassionate mind. You see someone suffer and you try to, you put in effort to try to reduce their suffering. Even you're thinking, oh, may they suffer less. If this person have stomach ache, oh, may his stomach ache can recover soon. Then you give him probiotics, you give him this, you give him that. That is an act of compassion. That's an act of compassion. If you see, that's an act of compassion. So a lot of charity projects and all that is the underlying mental mind state is compassion. They try to free the people from the suffering, and that's why they act upon it, become their behavior, compassionate behavior. Okay, that's compassion. Appreciative joy. Appreciative joy is like the third Brahma Vihari, joyful mind. Let's say, among your colleagues, someone are doing better than us. What happened to our mind? That time you have to check. Am I having appreciative joy? As in like, I rejoice in your success. Or I become 生理不是味道, a bit of jealousy growing in our mind, but we are not aware. If we allow that jealousy to go on and on, I'm sorry, meaning that you are weakening your mind. But then if you were to apply, but if you can rejoice, you are actually strengthening your mind. Actually, mental strength is not that difficult to cultivate in the daily life. And little by little, if you change all these small habits, right, based on all these mental factors, you can see that, gradually your mental strength have improved. You can we can withstand more life situations better, which I'm going to talk about it later. So over here, appreciative joy is a mind where we can rejoice in others' success. I personally, I participate in the Theravada group. Sometimes I join some friends in the Mahayana group where we do a lot of compassionate work. Yeah, a few days ago, actually the last 3 days, I went to Singapore Buddhist Lodge. Then I see the whole temple, okay? So many people, they offer flowers, they offer this, they offer that. Very compassionate act, It's like, yeah. Then when I go to the Tibetan center, a lot of time I see them practice appreciative joy. As in, I do something, then the Sishong around the temple, they were, Ani, they call me Ani. Ani is a term called nuns in Tibetan. Ani, I rejoice in what you do. There was one temple that I always go there to help them to arrange flowers. So every time after I arrange the flower, apart from them appreciating the beauty of the flowers and offer to the Buddha, they will come to me and say, Ani, I rejoice, you make so beautiful. Meaning they are not jealous, They don't because like you do better than them, they cannot do. Then it's like, wow, if I have weak mind state, it's like, how come she can do better than me? I must challenge, I must arrange better flower than her in the future. That's a weak mind state, a lousy mind state. But then she applied, they have been practicing this appreciative joy, so they can rejoice. Ani, you make so beautiful. I really, really happy for you. And I feel so happy that, the whole Dharma hall become very presentable. And if we can cultivate the kind of mind states, we are already in the mental, wholesome mind states. So let's say anywhere, at work, in the temple, at home, if you can see somebody doing a good job, please, not just knowing inside your heart, you can actually express it out with appreciative joy. Well done. People will appreciate your kind words. And that is also building other people's mental strength. And the last one of these beautiful mental factors, over here we call it the wisdom faculty. Wisdom faculty is the faculty where you know what is right, what is wrong. On a very gross, very loose level. Then the wisdom faculty, later on we're talking about, you are aware what is the ignorance in you. You know what kind of dharma to apply. That is all wisdoms. Then we also talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta. Things are impermanent, things are suffering, things are non-self. These are all under the category of wisdom faculty. So if a person's, most of the time, if their mind is in the contemplative mode, just now we're reflective, right? Part 1, reflective. Part 2, contemplative. Whatever situation happened in your life, instead of getting emotional, we contemplate. We contemplate. Wait a minute, what is this in the Dharma terms? What kind of Dharma? You check your CPU. What Dharma can I apply right now so that I can maintain my positive mind states? All these are wisdom faculty. Okay? A bit heavy, Today talk a bit heavy. Today is, I heard is what? Black Friday. Everywhere got sales. Do you all buy a lot of things according to desire or according to needs? Yeah. Can you practice like your mental strength? Do you have the mental strength to control your desire, not buying things that is not necessary? Good. I see somebody knocking her head. Yeah, good, good, good. If you can, that means you are already having some mental strength. And I rejoice you have these good qualities of mind state. And just having that mind state, the mental, have some mental strength, not enough. Later on, we'll talk about how we can improve our mental strength so that we progress more faster in the path. Okay. And now we talk about the unwholesome mental factors. Okay, you all may want to put in the chat. Do you think most of the time you are in the wholesome mental factors or unwholesome mental factors? Unwholesome, half wholesome, half unwholesome, mostly wholesome, very good, unwholesome, very good. Yes. It doesn't matter whether you have wholesome or unwholesome. At least as a beginner, you know what is your mind. If you can practice that, you are already a practitioner. And I really, really say sadhu sadhu to you. Even to know whether your mind right now is a wholesome mind state or an unwholesome mind state, you are already way above a lot of people in the world. A lot of people, they are just into their mind. They don't know what they are. And they react upon it. And that's why they have so much suffering and mental problems. But then if a person is like you, who already start to know, most of the time in unwholesome mind state, at least you know. And that is already mindfulness and awareness. You are already practicing. It's just that some of us, maybe we are reborn from Dewa Ram. So people from Dewa Ram, their mind are purer. Maybe they have more pride, a little bit more desire of wanting to have fine things in their life. Oh, that's okay. At least I know, okay? So this is the habits that I have. Let's say people from Dewa Ram, right? They know that they most of the time they be a little bit more prideful. They know. And if this lifetime, they start to change, be a little bit, sometimes I see your pride to the marker too high. Okay, I reduce a bit. That means you're already practicing to change your habits, to change your mental habits. That sometimes because it's from a past life carry on to this lifetime. Certain people since young, they got very bad anger management. It's not because they want to. Some of them, they have trauma, childhood. Okay, fair. But some of time, it's because of who they are in the past life and the habits pattern, the mental habits pattern brought forward to this lifetime. And it's very, very difficult for them to change. Even though they try very, very hard, it's very, very difficult to change. Because it's life after life after life. And if they, in this lifetime, at least they try to break that momentum. This lifetime is not wasted. Even though they cannot go any further in the Dhamma practice, cannot go into jhana, cannot see vipassana, but at least they can reduce their anger in this lifetime because of this very strong habit carry on for many, many lifetimes. This lifetime, they break, they are already a very good practitioner. That means the course of their path in the samsara have shifted. So it was like that one way, but now they start to stop. Then maybe perhaps the next lifetime they can start to move to the right path and progress. Yeah. So please don't like, I hear some practitioner, I practice until still like that. Then they become discouraged. But actually, there is no need to, because we are talking about changing habits that has been with us for life after life. You think want to cut so easy? I'm sorry, not so easy. My training is really, really, really challenging. Yeah. So please be kind to yourself. As long as I try, every time I try a little bit, I am already a practitioner. Don't compare to those people come from the Dewa realm, or even worse, the Brahma realm. They sit easily get into jhana. How are you going to compare? There's no comparison. There's no comparison, okay? So please be kind to yourself, okay? And that is mental strength. If you become a practitioner, then always compare to people who are better than us, then make ourselves so negative. You are not practicing mental strength. You are actually weakening your mental strength. Yeah. Okay. Then we continue to talk about the unwholesome mental factors. Delusion. Delusion is ignorance. Early on in our talk, if you don't know what is your day, how do you feel this week, that's ignorance. Grossly, and that's already ignorance. We don't talk about the fine one, even on a daily, very gross basis. If you don't know what is going on, if you're angry and you don't know you're angry, that's ignorance. If you have desire, you don't know you have desire, that's ignorance. Shamelessness, meaning that we do wrong and we don't feel shameful at all. Like, now looking back, right, my days in a monastery when I was in Myanmar, I think at some time of my practice, I didn't really practice this shamelessness, as in when my teacher scold me for a mistake that I cannot see, my blind spot, I haven't seen myself. So my teacher point out to me. Sometimes I challenge. I defend and I challenge. That means I am not shameful at all, Yeah. Yeah, like we do wrong and we still want to defend to protect ourselves. There's also elements of shamelessness in it. No? Okay. And fearlessness of wrong. Just now we already talked about that. I think you more or less have an idea when you talk about fearlessness of wrong. That means when you do wrong and you're not fearful of doing wrong. One example I could give is that let's say a person have eczema. A person have eczema and they know that eating seafood is no good for eczema. But because they cannot control their desire, their taste bud is more important. They still keep on eating seafood, eating prawns, eating squid. In a way, it's fearlessness of wrong, They don't care what is the consequences of the eczema. They just want to satisfy their taste bud first. So this is a very gross fearlessness of wrong. If you talk about the more refined one, there are millions and billions and millions that we can really pinpoint into it. Yeah. And restlessness. I think restlessness is the favorite unwholesome mental mind state of all the city dwellers. So what is this restlessness? Nothing to do, pick up the handphone. The mind cannot rest at all, must always engage in something. That is the definition of restlessness. Yeah. Even on the MRT train, I notice most of the people on their handphone, watching, checking mails, talking to friends, watching movie or stuff like that. They cannot allow themselves to rest, but always must engage. And if we keep on engaging, what will happen? The mind become fatigued. When the mind is fatigued, what will happen? When they go to sit on meditation, sloth and torpor will definitely happen. They will sure 钓鱼 because the mind is so tired, but the persons don't allow the mind to rest. On and on and on and on must engage in some activities. That's what restlessness is all about. Yeah. So please, if you know that you have this restlessness mental states, like watch YouTube for 5 hours, stuff like that, try to cut down a little bit. Maybe at least before you sleep, half an hour before you sleep, no electronic device. Very powerful, half an hour before sleep, no electronic device, but just listening to some music, read a Dharma book, or listen to a Dharma talk, or things like that. Or even just have a cup of soothing tea, herbal tea, not green tea. Green tea make you cannot sleep, but herbal tea, like let's say chamomile, things like that, it will soothe you down to help you in your sleep, so that your mind can rest, physically rest, mental rest. But let's say a person always engaged in restlessness, 1 minute before sleep, still on the phone, the mind is very active. And it will bring into the sleeping qualities, lousy sleeping qualities. Wake up feeling fatigued, and that's the vicious cycle of a bad mental health. So please, if you can just do one thing from today's talk by at least 15 to half an hour, no handphone, no electronic device before you sleep, it will help you in your mental strength, and it will also improve your health. If you could do just one this, I think my talk is not wasted. Okay? And okay, now we go on to talk about other unwholesome mental factors. Greed. Just now we talk about non-greed, so everybody know what is greed already. Tonight I want to wake up and stay awake to watch the World Cup. That's greed. Okay, that's greed already. Like it or not, there's greed elements in it. I want. Wrong view. Wrong view would be, actually, Buddhists, we are talking about any view that we hold, we are already in wrong view. If you hold any view, my way of thinking must be the right one, other people wrong, my colleagues sure wrong. That is already wrong view. That's already wrong view. Conceit is about pride that we talked about earlier on. People who come from the Dewa realm, they have more pride. What is pride? I am better than other people. So they're always in this competitive mind state. That's pride. Competitiveness, normally got to deal with a little bit of pride. The person want to be, we are the most supreme. We don't allow people to be better than us. Hatred, just now we mentioned a little bit of buisong, a little bit of irritations, that already have the elements of hatred. Envy, I'm sure you know, jealous, envy, people better than me, people have a Louis Vuitton bag, I don't have, I envy. That is already unwholesome mind state, and that will weaken your mind if we always compare. Then as number 6 is extreme greed. Greed, you watch, I want to watch World Cup today. That one is okay, not so bad. Extreme greed is, I love this person. Even the person get married, already a married man, I still want it. No matter what, I got to break the family. I don't care, but I just want this man. I love this man. I want this man. That is really a bit too extreme. That's extreme greed. And this is definitely unwholesome mind state. No matter how much you love the person, okay, unwholesome mind state will bring you suffering eventually. Yeah. Worries. I think female, especially mommy, they like to worry a lot. Worry for their children. Worry this, worry they cannot pass the PSLE, worry this, worry that. Worry if they have eaten their meal. You are making yourself, you are weakening your mental strength if you keep on worrying about all these Chinese yuan. They are independent, they already grow out. Give them the autonomy to be independent. You give birth to them, but they themselves have to take care of themselves. They have to train to take care of themselves to be independent. So reduce that unnecessary worry. It weakens your mind, really. Sloth is laziness, like couch potato, like sloth. Maybe, I don't know, you need to do an assignment, you don't want to do, you gotta watch YouTube. That's sloth. Topper, inactivity, a state of physical and mental inactivity. Just nua down there, just restless, let the mind float. No strength at all. Just let the mind float here and there. That's very, very bad, Yeah, that's what we call topple. The mind have no strength. And doubt is always 对吗？是不是这样子？ Even sitting in meditation, am I doing right? Am I doing wrong? Is it like this? Wait a minute, the book say this, but why am I feeling this way? Why am I having this experience? Having doubts. You want to cultivate jhana, wholesome mind state, then you always have all this doubt. That means your jhana, your mind is not pure already, You watch one breath, then you have 10 doubts. So you got one good mental state, you watch your breath, then you got 10 unwholesome mind state, having doubts. Then, I come back to my breath again. Like that, long time, then we can enter jhana, okay? Long time. It'll take a long time. Just do, We reflect, but you don't always in doubt, If you doubt, check with your teachers, check with your peers, so that you can clarify your doubts and you don't bring about your doubts in all the sittings that you are engaging in. Yeah, so this is the unwholesome mind state. So until now, we cover first reflections, step, your thinking, you are out of your thinking. Then look into your thinking. And now we talk about when you look into the thinking, what are the wholesome thinking? What are the things? What are the qualities that bring you to strengthen your mind? And what kind of thinking that will weaken your mind? And if a person most of the time are in the unwholesome mental factors, meaning a person have a weak mind. A person have a weak mind. Yeah, okay. So we talk until here, you know what is, how to watch your mind, and what is a good mind, and what is a strong mind, and what is a weak mind. Then we talk about application. We know already then how to apply what we have just learned. To make it easier for us for our discussion, I have subdivided our mind into 4 different stages. First, on the extreme left, okay, the 2 left is a person that still have a very strong identity. I, me, my. I am Sister Sujata. I am we pride a bit, nah? I am the spiritual director, spiritual advisor of say NTUBS. You know? Okay, that is a person with a very strong identity. A person with a very strong identity. That is, I classify under unhappy self and a happy self. Even someone with a happy self, they can have a very strong I, you know. I am ABC company boss. This is my kids. My kids are so bright. 哇，我的孩子是医生 you know. These are something like, I have my identity are still very strong. Then on the right, I classify practice to non-self and awaken. That means a person already in the path of practice, and their the sense of I has started to reduce. And the last one, the awaken, is somebody that already enlightened. Like either they are become a stream entry. People already, we call it a saint. But that's not the topic of discussion today. Today, we mainly talk about unhappy self, happy self, and practice to non-self. How can we strengthen our mind if we are still in this category? So it's like just now, a person who already start to aware, and they know that most of the time they are in the unwholesome mind state. Maybe they are somewhere in between unhappy self to the happy self. If a person who doesn't know their mind at all, and their mind is all the time in the negative mind state, chances are their mind is under the category of unhappy self. So that's how I classify, and I hope you can be very honest to yourself. Just now I asked you to check what is my mental state today, this week, this quarter, this year. So you check, wait, Sally asked me to check, what kind of mental state do I have for the past 3 months? Am I in my happy self, or am I in the unhappy self? Because in different category, how we can approach the problems to strengthen our mind, we need different medicines. So a person's, let's say, cancer, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it's like, a cancer medicine. And let's say if I have stroke or I have high blood pressure, the kind of medicines that we need is very different. So when we practice Dharma, it's the same. Loosely, we call it Dharma. So loosely in the medical term, we call it medicine. But then what kind of medicines to use? What kind of treatment strategy we need to use? It would depend on what kind of illnesses we have in the physical form. So even for the mental state, what kind of mental state I have right now? Unhappy self, happy self, or I'm already a practitioner? What you need to apply, as in the Dharma medicine, will be quite different. So the next step will be, please be very honest with yourself. Where are you now? Of course, in Buddhism, we talk about our life impermanence is the nature of all things. Even our mind state is up and down, up and down. That's okay, because we will never continue. A person cannot be possible continuously in the happy mind state. Continuously, not possible. So you need to break. You need to break yourself into few, break it down. So, okay, something happened to me. Let's say I just broke off with my boyfriend. At that state, my mind is unhappy self. Then I go and pick out the medicines for the unhappy self to apply to me, to help me at that mind state. After a while, after 3 months, after 6 months, I start to accept the situations and I start to move on. Then my mind changed to the happy self. Then I will need a different application of the Dharma to help me at that state of mind. Yeah. So you need to know where you are, then what to apply. It's not like one size fits all. It's not like that. It's not like that. You must know where you are. Then you use different medicine. Then your mental training can be more effective. So we start with this unhappy self. So unhappy self will be someone who is frequently feeling sadness, anger, fear, worry, anxiety. Then their behavior patterns will be their emotions. They cannot control their emotions well. Their emotions regulations are very poor. Meaning, when they are sad or when they are angry, they will just blow out. They will just blow out. They cannot control. That means the mind state is already quite bad. Yeah, it's already in the unhappy self, quite bad. And even worse, some people who some of them even have like mental block or mental fog. People who have COVID-19, they told me some of them, they cannot think like how they think in the past. A bit of mental block of frog. Yeah, a person who has the mind is always in the unhealthy self, the very weak mind state. They also feel that way. Their mind is very confused. They cannot make decisions. Very difficult for them to make decisions. They always must depend on other people. The codependence we talked about last week. Yeah, that kind of mind state is this unhealthy mind state. Some of them even have delusions, like, sometimes the people tell me they see this, they see that. During meditation, they see, Buddha coming down, sometimes it's not because they got good concentration, okay, because they got delusions. They start to imagine things. They are not in meditations. They are in delusion, deep delusion. Yeah, so when people describe to you, they see this, check, okay, whether their mind is really so sharp and pure and can see more things than in the 3-dimensional world, or they are in the delusional mind state that they start to imagine things. So there are many types of unhappy mind state. It is not possible for us to go through everything. So I picked anxiety as our case study today. Yeah, as our anxiety, we just talk about anxiety. So when we talk about anxiety, I think most of us have anxiety. Anxiety is actually a very common phenomena, a very common emotions in most of us. Normal anxiety, okay, is talking about, we worry, a little bit of worry on the green color category, yeah. Worry about work, worry about our presentations, and like before exam or during the exam period, we have anxiety. And that's okay. We know that this is situation-based. Once your situation is over, once the exam is over, your anxiety will over. your anxiety will over. And during the anxiety period, it is normal that your sleeping patterns will be disrupted. You tend not to sleep too well, or you have insomnia because there's a lot of worries, a lot of fear. And yeah, stuff like that. These are anxiety mind states. If we don't, some people, they have anxiety. Let's say, they are in a very toxic working environment. They have a boss that always scold. They have a boss that is always demanding, a very demanding boss. So every day they are in the state of anxiety when they enter into the office. It's not temporarily, it's a long-term thing. If they do not know how to practice mental strength, to build up their mental strength to face these life situations, and they allow their mind to be in this negative mind state, a weak mind state of fear and anxiety all the time, for a prolonged period, what will happen? Eventually, it becomes illnesses. And when it becomes illnesses, we will term this called anxiety disorder. Initially, it's just daily anxiety. If you don't manage, let it prolong for too long, it becomes a disorder. The mind state is always in this very fight, fright, and freeze mode. And the mind is no longer flexible. Mind is very rigid, always very scared. Then you'll have experience like heartbeat, as if they got heart attack, we call it panic attack, or they headaches, their gastric start to not functioning too well. These are signs that a person already have a prolonged period of anxiety. Yeah, and now we're just talking about anxiety, we're not talking about depressions or any other mental states, those weak mental states. But we're just using one example. Yeah. So that's why I use the first exercise, the beginning of talk, the reflection is so important. We always step out to check, what am I now? And do not let that prolong too long. That is so important. That's so important. And since I just have my mental mental health counseling, I just finished the module. So I learned about, how a psychiatrist categorize if a person have anxiety disorder. There are many, many different types of anxiety. Generalized anxiety disorder is only one of them. ADHD, PTSD, all these are anxiety disorder. But those are less often. Most of the time, general public, if their anxiety didn't manage well enough, they will get into this generalized anxiety disorder. You can see the definitions from this diagram. Irritability, very easily irritable, difficult concentrations, fatigue, restlessness, difficult to control the worry. Isn't it in line with what we discussed just now, the unwholesome mental state that the Buddha has prescribed? That means the person, most of the time, 99%, if a person has anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, most of the time, if they don't seek treatment, their mind is in this negative mind state. If they don't do any intervention, like taking medications, or perhaps seek psychologists or counselors help, or they don't practice any self-help, or they don't even talk to friends and people about this issue, they might continue on in this negative mindset for a long period of time, as long as that they have these symptoms. And what we classify this kind of mind is a mind that is weak. They cannot control, very weak. They're always in this negativity. That's what I meant by weak mind. They're always in this negativity. Yeah. So what to do? How to do? Before we go to what to do, how to do, is about sometimes we need to sub-classify our mind. First, life situation. A breakup is a life situation. Somebody passed, somebody that's very close to me died, is a life situation. I feel my project is a life situation. A divorce is a life situation. We cannot stop life situation. Good life situation happens, bad life situation happens. That is the nature of life. But then what we can do, the next one, life situation, then normally we have life situations, naturally we'll try to cope. Human nature, where anything happens, we try to cope. For a person who has weak mind, the coping strategy, I call this negative coping strategies. Meaning, let's say, I just break up. This is a life situation I cannot control. So what happened next? If we don't know, there's this thing called coping strategy. And if our mind is in a weak state of mind, in the unwholesome state that we stated earlier on, we discussed earlier on, chances are they will adopt negative coping skills to deal with their life situation. So this is this life situation and how we cope this life situation. The coping strategies that we deal with the life situation, that is something that we can control. That is something that we can work on. And once we work on this, from a negative coping strategy to a positive coping strategy, if we can do that, meaning we have strengthened our mental health. We strengthen our mind. Can digest so far? Okay, yeah? Not too intense, huh? Okay, yeah? So take a look. What are some of the negative coping strategies? Do you have any one of these? Is this how you normally cope with your life situation? I give you 2 minutes. Yeah, you go through this. Actually, there are a lot more, but this is just some list that, I get it from one of the counseling company, one of the counseling site. Someone may start to eat a lot. They stop exercise, stuff like that. Yeah, play computer games. This could be coping strategy. So if you see some children, right, exam period, they don't want to study and they keep on playing computer games, don't scold them because they are very stressed. The life situation make them stress, make them anxiety. And they don't know how to cope. All they know is play computer games. So that they don't have to feel the fear. They engage in something exciting. temporarily they are not in their fear mode anymore. So don't scold them. What you need to work with them is, okay, I know your exam, I know you are stressed and you are using a computer game to suppress your anxiety. But this is not healthy. This doesn't help you. Discuss with them, talk to them, and this is how you can help them and help them learn to have a mental hygiene so that eventually they can gain their mental strength. And once a new coping strategies are being developed and sustained, their mental strength has improved in the unhealthy self. Yep. So what can we do to, in this category, unhealthy self, people are already very wrong. What can they do to help themselves? Or maybe, I just experienced a very difficult life situation. So at that period, my mind is very nervous. My emotion is just everywhere. Thinking cannot stop. It just all totally emerged in the trouble. What can we do to help ourselves? Assess what is going on. Yeah. I just have a breakout. Yeah, this is the challenges I have right now. I cannot take it. I cannot accept it. Assess the challenge. This is your challenge. Then what you need to do next? You have to acknowledge your feelings. Because of breakout, I feel so hurt. I am numb. I am so angry. You start to know what is going on in you. Rather than, everything just lump up together, you start to compartmentalize what is going on inside us. Even our feelings, instead of everything lumped together, we try to compartmentalize, try to label it. If you want, you can write it down. If you want, you can talk to someone else. Yeah. So your mind will start to compartmentalize your feelings. Then the third step, we would try to cope with the situation. Just now, in the past, when our mind are not trained, we have very negative coping mechanism. But then, now that we have started to compartmentalize our issue, we can adopt positive coping mechanism to deal with the situation. And how to cope? What are some of the positive coping mechanism? As you can see from the picture on the left, I sub-classify into 4, as in physical, emotions, social, and spiritual. There's these 4 areas you can work on concurrently or one by one. Depends on, how grounded are you at that time to help yourself further to get out of that situation faster so that you can move on to get back to the tranquility, the equanimous mind state, not so turbulent. So the physical part, do not underestimate physical part because that is the most easy that we can apply. Most of the time we neglect, but actually once we change our physical, our emotions and our mental will automatically change because everything is interrelated. So the physical, what can we do? Watch on your sleep. Make sure you have sleep. When we are nervous, when we are so tense, we tend to be on our phone all the time. Because we're very tense, we must engage in something. Then we forgot about we need to sleep. Some of them might play phone until 2 a.m. where they need to wake up at 6. If you know that you are engaging this kind of coping mechanism, please put effort. Please put effort. Half an hour before sleep, no phone. Sleep. Create the environment that you can sleep. Turn on a diffuser, turn on music, whatever you can do, massage, whatever you can do, take a hot shower, whatever you do, you try to go Google. We cannot cover everything today. Go Google and think of what you can do to help yourself to get back that sleep, a good, healthy sleeping patterns. Go exercise, very important. Healthy food, because when we are stressed, even myself, I don't normally eat a lot of fried stuff or chocolates. But then every time when I have assignment to submit, I start to eat a lot of fried stuff. Instead of going to eat my normal Yong Tau Hu soup, I will start to look for McDonald's French fries. And I start to eat chocolates. Then I know, once I have these behavior patterns, I know I'm stressed. That's how you know yourself. That's how you start to pick up, oops, I'm stressed. I really start to have all these behavior patterns. Yeah. So if you want to train your mind to gain mental strength, you need to pick up all these small little things in your life. Break the habits. That's mental strength. Break the habits. You know that you have all these, break. Doing yoga, go exercise, go to the gym, anything you like. Sweat it out. Go under the sun. All these are important. Emotional. Compassion, forgiveness, not so easy. Never mind. At least I try to work on my emotions by labeling down my emotions. These are the least we can do. Yeah. Only that, then we can slowly work on the more detailed, the final one, like, forgiveness, compassion, logic, Yeah. Then social. When we are tense, when you're stressed, or we have big life situation, as an introvert person who are already an introvert personality, what do? They will hide themselves. They draw boundaries from other people. They hide themselves, close them, hide inside their room. I call it hide inside the closet. That is not going to be helpful to them. Because from my counseling experience is that actually life situation, if we were to talk it out, is easier to manage. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to anyone that you trust. Yeah, ask for help. Do not be shy, ask for help, because it's intense, you don't want this negativity to keep on what they call 发酵, what? How to call in English? I don't know. Yeah, you don't want it to ferment, You need to do something about it. How we want to do about it, everybody have different coping method. Go for something that you are comfortable. Yeah, no need to force. Then spiritual, chanting, meditations, even deep breathing, even go to walk in the park with nature, even drawing. It's helpful. It's really helpful. It distracts our mind temporarily to something that is neutral. We don't expect positivity at this point. When the mind is too negative, cannot expect suddenly overnight you become positive. Not possible. At least you try to go back to neutral, already a milestone. Then next will be take small step towards what you want to avoid. Let's say my heart is very pain. So I engage in many things so that I don't feel my pain. That's my coping strategy. That's not going to be helpful. After you do you do your emotion regulations, you do your physical regulations, you talk to people, you are more at ease, then you might want to work slowly, talk to yourself. Start to say hello to your feet, to the pain. Don't sweep under the carpet anymore. Start to make friends with the pain. Say hi to the pain. Treat your pain as if like it's part of you. Once you self-love in this way, this one is loving kindness. When we self-love in this way, no matter how painful we are inside, gradually the intensity will reduce. This is one of the best way we can do to help ourselves out, to build on our mental strength. And do not be over ambitious. Do one step at a time. If you're so intense, you cannot do anything else. If eating French fry helps you, okay, eat French fry. I know this is my coping strategy, but today I eat big packet French fry. Tomorrow I try medium size. The next day I try small size. One step at a time. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is how we can cope when we are, very unhealthy. Then we talk about the unhealthy, Agak, you know what to do already, right? Then when those unhealthy situation is over, then you back to normal life. I call it a happy self, which is where you are now, happily working, have a family, engage in positive activities. Yeah, this is where we are, happy self. Then what we can do to help our mental strength. We don't stop just there, We don't just stop there. I would suggest from the Dharma perspective, these are some of the suggestions that I thought I'd like to share with you, how we can do to improve our mental strength by further improve our mindfulness. Just now we talked about gross mindfulness. How am I this week? That's very gross. Then when we talk about the more fine one here, we can talk about what is my thinking ongoing. You are always in that reflective state of mind. In the past, we are always like this. Unhealthy self is like this. Healthy self, sometimes you are like this, sometimes you are like this. Sometimes you are into your thinking, sometimes you can observe what you are thinking. So try to cultivate for this mindfulness. I call this mindfulness, to know what you are thinking, to increase more and more. So that most of the time you are not here. Gradually, last time is unhealthy self is 100%. Maybe over here, happy self, sometimes we are still like 40%, 30%, or maybe 70%, we are like that. Then gradually, we improve our mindfulness. Hopefully, we can stabilize to be aware of our mind most of the time. And this is what I call mental strength. Then, on top of that, apart from mindfulness, the mind needs to be soft. Mindfulness can be a bit like 做工, very tough. But the mind always tough, right? Not happy mind. After a while, they don't want to do already. So what we need to do? We practice loving kindness, self-love, love other people. We practice compassion. We practice rejoice. And once we do that, then we can slowly practice equanimity. Equanimity is a little bit difficult to practice. It's a more challenging mind state. It's a more refined, healthy mind state. Equanimity. Yeah. If you want, we can talk about equanimity later during the question and answer, if we have time. Yeah. Then, Dharma study, keep your precepts. All these are wholesome mindset that we talk about. Beautiful mental factors. Community service. This is to increase your merits. And in the Dharma term, I call it 广结善缘. That means you make karmic connection with as many people as possible in a positive way. This will not going to help you only this lifetime, but also your future lifetime. Because once you have this positive karmic connection, in your future life, when you see the person, you start on the right footstep. Yeah, that's why other people are actually helping us to gain merits. Why not? Yes. And not just Dharma, very important, continue to maintain a healthy lifestyle. As in, enough sleep, enough rest, got exercise, go under the sun, you got friends, go for social. Everything, all these are important. Healthy diet, all these are very important to maintain the healthy self. Because if a person start to engage in an unhealthy lifestyle, gradually it will affect the mind again. So it's interrelated, We cannot just focus on our mind and neglect about all the healthy lifestyle that is so important for our physical and mental health. Yeah. So this is when we are healthy and happy. Then what is next? When we are already halfway through, we already start to practice. Most of the time, we are already like that. Then what we can do next to make this even stronger, I call it practice to non-self, because the ultimate goal for a Buddhist practice is to realizations of non-self. From a very unhealthy self, very, very strong self-centered, slowly, sometimes this, sometimes that. Then practice to non-self is most of the time like this. Then eventually, this. So when we talk about practice to non-self, I would strongly encourage everyone to go for more meditation retreats. Not just like this kind of one day online retreat. This one is only help you in your mental hygiene. But if you really want to develop the mental strength, 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, please go. And what can you do during the retreat? From a Theravada perspective, you can practice to strengthen your mind by practicing samatha meditation. Samatha meditation, it means calm abiding. After calm abiding, then we talk about building mental strength, as in the ability to focus and concentrate. That is samatha meditation. And in the Buddhist Theravada school, there are 40 methods, 40 meditation objects we can practice samatha meditation. That one you can check with a meditation teacher when you're more ready to practice this samatha meditation. And we have this vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is look into your mind. Just now, early on, we talked about able to, it's already, we are cultivating the mental strength for vipassana. When we talk about vipassana, right, it's a mind that is able to be like this and use a samatha to sustain to be like this. Then we watch what is going on. That is vipassana. That's vipassana. And further that, we continue to work on to serve the community, because in order to practice, right, we need a lot of merits to practice. And serving the community is one of the ways that we can accumulate a vast merits to support our Dhamma practice. Then continue to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Why I choose this GIF? You can see now the little dragonfly touch the meditators, but the meditators doesn't move. What does that mean? Meaning that not just physical, it actually have a more profound meaning, as in your mind, if you practice continuously, strengthen your mind. A strengthened mind from the Buddhist perspective is a mind that no matter what kind of life situation happens to you, you still can, instead of your mind totally submerged into it, you have the ability to be like this. It is painful, it is challenging, but yet, like the dragonfly, life situation like the dragonfly, but the person is not moved, the mind is not moved. It's flexible, it's clear, you have the mental strength to process and to know, to think what to do next, rather than totally submerged into the emotions and the life situation. That's what I meant by a very strong mind. 出污泥而不染. Yeah. The mind is very easily to detach. I give you one example with regards to this. A few years ago, one of my teachers have shared this story with me. It's a real story about 911. So he has this teacher of mine. He actually teach in the West as well. So one day when he was giving a Dharma talk, one of his students come forward and talk to him. He says he actually have an office in one of the 911 the building who has collapsed in United States, New York, World Trade Center. Sorry. So apparently he lost everything overnight. But because he has been practicing Dharma, he can hold the situations and process the situations. Whereas his neighbor, because of the 911, his office overnight, everything lost, he actually committed suicide. So this is the difference between a mind that is with mental strength through the Dharma practice and a mind that is weak. Same life situations happen to both of them. If a person who has stronger mental strength, they know how to deal with the situation. But a person with a weak mind, the mind that is not trained yet, they cannot manage, especially adverse life situation. How much time we have? 27. Oops, we have no time to watch this video, but do you want to extend and watch? Okay, for those who want to leave, you all can leave, but for those who want to watch, it's a 7 minutes video. Yeah, I thought it was quite cool. Hang on, huh?
Once upon a time, there lived a Zen master in a Buddhist monastery. One day, a man came to see him and said, "Sir, my mind is very disturbed. Many thoughts keeps coming to my mind all the time. Please give me some mantra to reduce the thoughts of the mind." Zen master looked at him and said, "My friend, you start doing meditation every day. By doing meditation, slowly and slowly, your mind will start to calm down." But the man said, "Sir, please don't tell me to do meditation. I can't do meditation because when I try to meditate, even more thoughts starts to come to my mind, and most of the thoughts are negative, which makes my mind more restless." The Zen master said, "Don't worry, son. It happens in the initial stage of meditation. But by practicing meditation slowly and slowly, your mind will start to calm down." But the man said, "Sir, meditation is not my cup of tea. You please give me some mantra to calm down my mind." The Zen master saw that this man is not going to understand like this. Then he said, "Okay, if you insist, then I give you a mantra which can calm your mind." Then he whispered a mantra in his ear and said, "You have to recite this mantra by sitting alone every day." The man got very happy and said, "Thanks, master. I will surely recite this mantra every day." As he was about to turn back to leave, the Zen master said, "But remember one thing, don't think of a monkey while reciting this mantra. Otherwise, mantra will become ineffective." The man said, "Sir, why would I think of a monkey? I have never thought of a monkey in my whole life. You don't worry about it." And he left from there. The man came back home happily and sat down to recite mantra. As he started chanting mantra, he remembered the words of the Zen master that don't think of a monkey when you recite this mantra. As he remembered the words of the master, pictures of monkey started to come to his mind. He started to try and ignore the thoughts of monkey. But the more he tried to ignore the monkeys, the more the monkeys started to come to his mind. And after some time, his mind was fully crowded with monkeys. The man thought, why Zen master gave me this instruction? If he knew that monkey was a trouble, then he should not have mentioned it. No other animal is coming to my mind, and monkeys are not living. The man got up. He took bath, changed to fresh clothes, and again sat alone in a room to chant mantra. As soon as he closed his eyes, monkeys were nudging him. They were all around him. Wherever he looked, he would see monkeys. By night, he even started seeing monkeys in the face of his family members. Man was going mad. The more he was trying to ignore monkeys, the more monkeys were coming to his mind. By morning, he was almost mad. Next morning, he ran back to the Zen master and told him everything and said, Sir, what kind of mantra you have given me? Till yesterday, I had never thought about monkey, and now my mind is completely filled with thoughts of monkeys. And monkeys are not leaving me even for a second. Please help me and free my mind of these monkeys. Zen master said, okay, just relax and stop reciting mantra. Don't do anything. The man sat down relaxed and stopped reciting mantra. He was surprised that now there was no thought of monkey. Everything went to normal. Then Zen master said, you see, my friend, I just wanted to tell you about the nature of our mind. Never try to fight with your mind. Just as the more you press the spring, the more it will jump. In the same way, the more you try to suppress your mind, the more it will become stronger. Be calm. Start watching the thoughts of the mind, and you will find that your mind will gradually become calm automatically. And to watch your mind, you need to do meditation. If we see in our lives, we will find that our mind is just like a monkey, which keeps jumping here and there all the time senselessly. If you want to stop this monkey mind forcefully, then you won't be able to do this. Like, the more you try to press a spring, the more it will jump. Similarly, the more you try to stop the thoughts of your mind, the more those thoughts will come to your mind. Experts say that a human mind creates anything between 36,000 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. If you will try to stop these thoughts forcefully, then you won't be able to stop them. Instead, the very effort to stop it gives it energy. The very effort to avoid it becomes attention. When you start to avoid something, you start paying too much attention to it. Therefore, there is no need to stop thoughts. Only thing you need to do is to watch your thoughts unattached. In our routine life, generally, we are not able to watch our thoughts, but in meditation, you can easily do it. Therefore, you need to practice meditation to witness your mind. Some people experience that when they start meditation, more thoughts start to come to their mind. But the reason behind it is that when we start meditating, the old impressions hidden in our mind start to erupt. Just like if you clean your house, then all the garbage comes out. Similarly, when you start meditating, all the garbage of the mind starts coming out and you will start having more thoughts. But you need not to worry about it and keep watching your thoughts unattached and continue your meditation practice. Slowly and slowly, when all the garbage of the mind comes out, then the mind itself will start to calm down and you will start having less thoughts. And with long practice, you will surely be able to control your mind.
Okay. So why I share this is to illustrate that watching our mind is so important. And whatever happens in our life situations, do not suppress, do not try to control, but try to know what is going on. Because only then, that is the way to build mental strength from the Buddhist perspective. Yeah. And I think I shared with you all like last week that the whole process of this Sankara business of, our rubbish starts to come out. It might take 2 years, some might be longer. And during these periods, a lot of emotions, a lot of things that we don't experience regularly, it start to surface. Sometimes suddenly, practice halfway, then suddenly it's like, why my anger become worse? My anger become more, erupt easily. It's because there are certain suppressions that we have accumulated all your life. It start to surface. If we can maintain that ability to detach and just watch, allow these things to surface and let go, let go, let go. That's the process of letting go. Once this process happens, you are actually building your mental strength. Your mind become less crowded because there's less rubbish inside. When the mind to become pure, and that's where you can slowly to cultivate your concentration practice. It is a process. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. Yeah. And to end, tonight, I thought to share these verses from the Dhammapala, verses 35. The mind is really very, very difficult to control, honestly. But if you want happiness, be it in your daily life or mundane life, happiness in mundane life, and happiness in your spiritual life and your future life, controlling the mind is one of very important skills that any practitioners need to pick it out. Because as you can see earlier on, that if we don't train our mind, most of the time we are in these unwholesome mind states. And unwholesome mind states will actually will always propel us to do unwholesome act. Meaning we are accumulating a lot of unwholesome karma. And once you have the cause, a lot of unwholesome karma, your effect, your future life might be challenging. So that's why mind training is so important, so important in this Buddhist teaching. And it's like a jewel that we can practice and really can change our life course for the rest of our journey in our samsara. Okay, thank you very much for the time. And so sorry that I have exceeded a bit of like 20 minutes. Sorry, 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Any questions? Today, talk a bit heavy, yeah? But it's a lot of very valuable information that you can pick it out and try to practice that. Yeah. I'm quite certain if you were able to strengthen your mind, according to the Buddhist teaching, like how I described earlier on, don't expect immediate, like 3 months, a bit difficult, but give yourself like 1 year, you see a lot of changes. Your mind is more ready for more higher Dharma practice. Yeah. It's how we train our mind. Otherwise, we always akan dadang, always go to retreat, no progress, come back, or go to retreat, feel good, peaceful for a few days, come back, 又在乱了了. Yeah, but if you were to train this way, strengthen our mental strength on a daily basis, and after the while, even no need to go for meditation retreat, even sitting in Singapore after work, you know that your mind are much more manageable. When you go for retreat, meaning you are strengthening it so that it will become even sharper when you come back from retreat. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Any question? You can put on the chat. You can just attention to me so that if you don't want to read, anybody to read, you can just attention to me so no one know who send messages.
Sally,
Yeah.
maybe not more of a question, but like to say thank you. I think the part about the identifying where you are, and then like it's a bit like in medicine, you have to get the correct diagnosis before you can give the appropriate medicine.
Yes.
If you don't know what the problem is, and then you try to do something else, and then you realize, how come I'm still so unhappy? Yeah, like sometimes I'm in unhappy self, and then you go for retreats, and then it's like a bit
worse.
Yeah, so it's like I think I'm very grateful to for this part about needing to identify where are you now and what exactly is your problem and what exactly do you need to do appropriately lah. Yeah, so
Yes.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Sadhu,
Good
sadhu.
that it has you have some takeaway today.
Thank you, Sadhu.
And I rejoice. So I am married.
Yes, sadhu, sadhu. I also rejoice in your rejoice. So we stack the marriage.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone else? Any feedback? If we need to go for retreat to practice mindfulness, I would say it is good to go for mindfulness training. There are secular mindfulness course, and I think even some Buddhist set up, they also have mindfulness course or retreat. Go and learn the techniques. But mindfulness practice is not just restrict to just the retreat period and you come back, you forget. It's not like that. Learn the technique, apply in your daily life. This is where you can see the changes. Because otherwise we are always like that. We cannot be like that. Our mind is always in our thinking, but we cannot be the observer of our thinking. Yeah. And being the observer is only the first step of the Buddhist path, you know. Eventually, when the mind is so stable, eventually this observer you have to drop. That's where you enter your progress into a higher state of non-self practice that we didn't talk about today. So today what we talk about is really the beginners. Here, slowly here, maintain here. If you can do that, it's already very, very, very good.